Hi, I'm Euge Valovirta and this is about Peavey 5150 black leather. I'm gonna go through different settings. So I've recorded 3 songs where I use the amp 3 different ways, from clean to really high gain chug sound. So first, high gain chug sound boosted with Bass ST1. Alright, so that was the 5150 boosted with Bass ST1. It's the good old way to tighten the sound. The guitar I'm using now my signature ESP Japan Custom Shop with EMG 81 and 85 pickups. The tuning is drop C. So, I'm sure most of you are familiar with the legendary 5150. I owned one over 20 years ago, and a couple of years ago I founded this black leather from Canada, Toronto, and finally a few days ago I got it. So the boy is back. I mean, it's very aggressive amplifier, and it's kind of cold biased, so it's really like when you hit, it's really that like this kind of sound, almost like whoa, because I haven't played this in a while, so I was like, oh wow, it's like this, because you know I mostly use Marshall JCM 800s, so this is kind of similar in the, you know, aggressiveness, filthiness, you know, it's not nice sounding amp. So what I have here, how I usually dial an amplifier, no matter if it has tons of gains or not. I dial it this kind of like a rockish tone, which cleans up nicely when you roll down the volume. Chorus there. And then I boost it to like this tight sound with an overdrive. So many times people, when they boost high gain amps, they just put the level to max and drive to 0. But I like to dial, like I always dial my SD, so that the level is kind of like 4 o'clock, the drive like 8 o'clock. So there's small amount of clipping OD involved, just like how it makes the amp to behave, like more sustain and a little bit compression and stuff. So with the SD it's like this. There's this low end and it tightens everything up nicely. And many people use the lead channel for high gain stuff, like I did on the song. The guitar left was when I filled myself. I use this channel, and when I played the lead, and then I just panned it afterwards to left and cut it the solo section to middle and added delay and reverb and a little bit of like pitch shift chorus. I have a little bit reverb now, just a tiny amount, so it's not that in your face. So you get the similar vibe than I have here in the room, because I'm recording the guitar to DAW. But the rhythm channel is also really cool, and that I used on the right side. So lead channel, no overdrive. Rhythm channel, this is kind of like more like Marshall style. It's not as modern or high gain. It's kind of a little bit smoother, but still the attack when you pick, it's like, whoa. I mean, 800 is like this, but this is like really like, so it's like, I don't know how to describe, a little bit like, you know, when you dive in water head first, sometimes it goes smoothly and sometimes it's like the water hits you really hard. This playing with 5150 to me feels like the water hits very hard. But I guess that was the point, that, you know, what Eddie wanted, that really fast attack, like I guess he described like his brother Al's snare, like tchack, and then it kind of opens. And this is what it does. So yeah, so I had the bright switch on, because without it, it was a little bit dark. It doesn't do much when there's a lot of gain, just a little. It's more effective when the crunch mode is off. Not that much, but I like it, brings the more presence. So this is kind of like, you know, close to 800. And then boosted with SD. Oh yeah, I used a whammy 2 octave up on the song. So now let's switch the channels between, so you hear. So first the rhythm channel with SD1. I think they complement each other really well in a mix when you record it. This being a lot like, almost like the lead and crunch channels on GSL, which is, in my opinion, great amp. So yeah, so that's it, kind of 5150. I mean, there's so much gain. I have now on the lead channel, the gain is like hair below 3, bass is 8, mid 6, high 7, post gain 3. Usually I like to crank the master a lot, especially on 800s and, you know, old Marshalls, because that makes the amp alive. But I tried to crank this like around 5. It's like as loud as my 800, but it just became kind of mushy and not tight. So that around 3 was the kind of sweet spot where there's just the right amount of power tube saturation going on. And then the resonance and presence, you know, presence is like the high shelf overall, and the resonance does the same with lows. I mean, you have to be careful, especially with the resonance. I dialed in quite a lot, so, you know, get this muscular tone. And yeah, I'm using the reactive load and my trusty old Innsbruck's Sound of God EQ2, which is based on one of my favorite cabinets and speakers that I've used on many albums I recorded during the years. Okay, so that was the lead sound. That was just the lead channel, and like I said, I added a little bit of, you know, stereo delay and stuff there. But yeah, this is, I haven't played with this for, it feels very different than 800, but in its own way, it's absolutely fantastic amp. Okay, now, next song, I'm gonna use my EVH Frankie Strat, no overdrives, and kind of this wet sound, what Eddie used on like For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge and on that tour. No doubling, just one guitar, no overdrives and stuff, so you'll hear that too. So yeah, as you heard, the sound was quite a bit different. Different guitar, different pickups, a little bit different settings on the amp, and I played also differently, a lot looser, if you will, and, you know, did some tappings. Well, you heard. So whenever people ask me about what's your settings, I want to have the same sound. It's a quite pointless, because these are two of the most important things. Your hands, how you play, because pickups pick up the sound and amplifies it, what you create with the guitar. But I get it, you know, it's nice to know what settings was being used, but you know, there's so many factors that even though you dial like these settings, and maybe if you have a similar guitar, it wouldn't sound the same, because each of us players have our own hands. But anyway, yeah, so basically what I did, so there was no overdrives, so I increased the gain to around noon, and then I backed pretty much everything. So lows, highs around 6, mids around 4, resonance, presence 6 and 7. The master was the only thing that was the same. And as you heard, it was quite lush sound. So there was I added afterwards a little bit stereo delay and reverb and a bit of a pitch shifting. Basically the same what I had on the first song's solo. So it's, yeah, the guitar is in a drop C now. So 1/2 step down and drop. So obviously it sounds quite different, but I think it's pretty close to Edge sounds. So yeah, lots of gain on tap on this amp. And then if we check out the rhythm channel, which I didn't use, but you know, and let's take the crunch off and let's put it standard tuning. So I think the rhythm channel is great. I mean, to get a completely clean sound, well, maybe Fender or Roland JZ120 would be the amp you would consider, or something else, but this is, you know, rock and roll amp. So to me, this is kind of clean, you know, when there's a little bit, and then when you just brought down the volume. So it's That's why there is a reason that guitars have volume and tone knobs, so that they will be used. But I mean, I've heard people mocking the rhythm channel. I really don't understand why, because I think it's fantastic. I mean, you know, it's really nice, overdriven, mildly overdriven, which cleans up really beautifully when you roll down the volume. And that's also, when the volume is full, it's really that hard. But when you back it up just a little bit, then the amp becomes more like a softer. I like it a lot. It's great. So, yeah. Those were kind of, you know, so you don't necessarily need an overdrive, but obviously then the distortion, the sound is bit different, but very similar to Eddie Van Halen's sound, because he didn't use an overdrive. So yeah, next I'm gonna play some chicken picking country with my Telecaster. So let's see how jangly and clean we can get this amp to sound. Okay, well, that was the song. I didn't use any drums and bass, cause I had to take my words about the excellence of the clean channel. It works with, if you have a little bit like more gain, but I mean, it's okay with the Tele, with single coils. These are really like antique series. The high gain input, it was really two-dimensional and harsh. Well, while we're at it, let's... I don't know if you can hear it, but it feels like, really like diving headfirst into heavy water, like there's not much 3D element, and the normal gain input, that's like it's just, let's say, TSL clean channel. It's fantastic, inspirational, three-dimensional and stuff. So yeah, I try to play country song chicken picking. I just couldn't like feel it. So, well, let me grab a Strat and I mean I could play a show with this. It's okay, but it's not very inspirational. Where is the high gain stuff? It's like, yeah. So, if you're looking for a amplifier to use with a Strat or a Telecaster and play some country and blues and some mellow stuff, then stay far away from 5150. But well, like you heard, for aggressive metal and rock, this is, well, there's a reason why this is considered as classic as JCM 800. Both are great amps, a little bit different, but I like both a lot. Hey, hopefully you found this interesting and informative. Thanks for watching. If you like, thumbs up, subscribe and stuff. I'll be doing some more comparison videos in the future with my Marshalls and 5150, so you can hear also how they differ from each other. Okay, hey, until next time, take care. Bye.